Hello, folks, and welcome to, to the String Ninjas podcast. We haven't done a formal introduction in quite a long
I
time.
don't like them.
I do and I don't.
I like the au naturel approach where you're like, shit, are we recording? What did I say? And then it's like,
That's the equivalent of the whole, oh, that's me finished. Don't clap for an encore. And then you walk off stage and come back on. Oh, I never predicted this.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm having tea. It's the first tea I've had in months.
What is this? The Shane Todd Tea with Me podcast?
Tea with a ye. It's
Tea with
a
ye.
medieval themed Shane podcast. The
I'm
Shane podcast. The Toddcast.
sure he's a tattoo on his leg called the Todd Fella. It's the Todd Fella. It was like a Dur or something. Someone said he wouldn't do it. I don't know. Anyway, enough about Shane Todd. He doesn't subscribe. Do you know what it is? He has his radio show, the Big Rave Lockdown with Dave Elliott. I sent Dave a copy of our Disco Biscuits track to play on the radio, and they haven't. But I'm guessing we're just too edgy for the BBC.
No, it's probably because of the amount
We
of
haven't
fucking-
here. Funnily enough,
Yeah, they pay
we haven't
PRS.
had a gig on the BBC since I grew a beard. Now you've always had a beard, but you also have a cuddly personality. We haven't had one since I grew a beard, or maybe it was the whole
So
Stradivarius.
what
Maybe
you're
it was,
saying is we owe our success to your sexy chin.
no, maybe it was the whole thing. Whenever you said about me getting excited about women's lingerie and Stradivarius,
Oh yeah.
yeah, maybe that's why. We don't get work with BBC.
But the whole point of doing the formal introduction is so you can actually, if anybody's going to listen and they're only going to listen to like 20 minutes, they're going to get the whole Patreon bollocks at the start rather than
I've been ranting about the BBC.
rather than mentioning it at the end when nobody's
Okay.
listening. So
All right,
we've
professional.
read on our tiers on the Patreon, so there is no
Yeah.
tiers anymore. So it's basically pay what you want, you get access to the music, the exclusive content, and all the podcast videos and whatnot, so you'll get them as well. So it's come on, pay what you want, all that bollocks. Patreon.com/String Ninjas, or if you've got the app, just search for String Ninjas.
Yes.
Not
Uh,
Strange Ninjas,
It's not strange.
because on
Ninjas.
Patreon you will get results for that search.
Remember that dickhead from Cool FM who introduced us as Strange Midges one time?
Did he?
I think he used to work for Cool FM. He doesn't anymore because he introduces acts called Strange Midges. he's obviously, he got working.
This is the Eagles, or as I like to call them, Strange Ninjas. This is ACDC, Strange Ninjas.
Yeah. No, buy Patreon as well. There's also a discount code for our sponsors, the Beardy Beard Co. Man, see that cherry one, the cherry bomb beard oil? No, the best thing about that?
Slapping it on your balls for a while.
No, when I have to go to the a lot of people probably notice themselves. Like, see, since COVID kicked in and people having to wear masks in shops, you become very aware of your breath. You never normally notice. Like, my breath always smells nice, but when you're breathing in and out, and it's stuck in a mask, after a while, you're like, it's fucking
I
rancid.
just breathe through my nose,
So,
like in and out.
but anyway,
So,
but when I put, what happens is when I put that beard oil, it's like cherry and cinnamon. When I put that on my beard, and then I put the mask on. And then I go out to the shops. Every time I inhale, I smell the beard oil, and it's lovely. So head over to patreon.com/String Ninjas for 20% off your orders with Beardy Beard
It's a
Co.
fairly-
Who, by the way, are not based in Bangor. Gillian, the owner, sent me a message to say, "Dickhead, we're not from Byers with Gillian. This is my formal apology to you. You know, I couldn't. The tabloids papers wouldn't take
what
it
it
up.
is,
So
pay us more and you'll get the fucking name right. That's what'll
That's
happen. No, they're based in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
They use slave labour.
And shout out to our new patrons. I got Claire, Stephen, and Nathan. Have just joined us this week.
you very much.
guys.
Appreciate
You're
that.
very welcome. You're very welcome.
So-
Our feet pics are in the virtual meal.
Oh right, yes, I got confused with that. Yes,
Anyway.
I got the manicure or the pedicure and the wee bracelet.
When did that become a thing? Because I thought
Pedicures?
no feet pics.
I don't know. I was saying to Fernanda, I was like, you know, we're pretty open, but if you ever put your feet near my dick, it's over. It's over.
It's odd
I don't
'cause,
want that.
Like I follow on my Instagram. Like there's a lot of like. There's a woman, right? There's a
Perverts.
woman I follow, Leah Shakiva, right? She's a competitive eater, but she's also absolutely stunning. She's a bodybuilder as well. She's got a phenomenal figure, gorgeous girl. But she eats, she takes on like Eddie Hall, World's Strongest Man in the competition, and wipes the floor with them. But there's always, every time she posts a picture of anything, there's always like saying as a picture of your feet. I'm like, when did that become a thing?
It's such a weird thing. It's like you couldn't get further away from the genitals. Do you know
Do you
what I mean?
remember back in the day it was like, shows your tits?
Like,
That's like, shows your
but wait, that's
What?
just the natural progress of porn, because it's like if you're overexposed to certain things, you sort of become desensitized to it. So like if you're into like 3-way fucking gangbangs, eventually you're gonna want a fourth to be added in there. Do you know what I mean? It's just you
Man,
need
that's
something
too
to
much
up
admin.
it up.
That's too much admin.
Did you get your permission slip from your
What are we on here? We're on 6.5 minutes and we're talking about porn.
porn admin?
I know. I can't. No, I maybe I'm just an old fuddy duddy, but
Oh, funny, Donny. The fact you use
three's
that,
enough for me.
you can't fit any more in. I take that's the sort of thing I take in lovers and in food.
Oh,
You can't fit more than 3 in.
oh my god.
Here, actually, speaking of beards, I'm actually fucking gutted that you didn't mention mine today.
Why?
Because I actually brushed it and put the
Oh,
oil
no,
in it and had a wash. Because I'm
So it was
sick.
here when you did
I'm
it.
sick and fucking tired of doing videos and then looking back and going, look at this state of my
Do
beard.
you know what, actually, because we recorded videos before this, I noticed it, like my beard's at a point now where when I can see it without looking in a mirror, I know it's big. But when I'm
Without a mirror, I can see it. I don't know what's big.
who needs to lose weight, mate? Just it needs to get more
I can
legs.
feel it slapping on my thighs. It's there. It's still there.
But because when I'm playing the violin, obviously it's there, so it's in my peripheral. I can actually see it, and I was so conscious during the 74th take of Disco Biscuits that I could see. And I was like, "What's this going to look
It's
like
trying
on
to
camera?"
smother you so you don't have to play it again. It's just gonna go to sleep.
That's a good point. Like I remember last year, like that's it there. It got to there.
Mine went up to my eyebrow.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm gonna have to do my hair. I'm gonna bring the Zangief back.
Sanqueef.
The Sanqueef.
Sanqueef
Bring it
is
back to
back.
Sanqueef, ladies. You're welcome.
Well,
I
just don't know what for you.
I can't touch you, like, but it's just because it's against the law.
So can't touch this. Dude, it suits me. It's fine. It's perfectly acceptable.
So fair play to GameStop.
That's been a whole debacle, isn't
Brilliant.
it? But they didn't do fuck all. It was
Do you know what I
everybody
just
else.
realised? So by the time this comes out, it'll have been such old news that
I had to get that off. It was
it'll
fucking the fuck
be
out of me.
hopefully Rishi Sunak's hedge fund gets taken down next. The
Oh,
bastard.
Jesus. What a weird name for any fund. A hedge fund. It's like it's like I've got my lawn account or something like.
No, it's like do you remember when we were kids? Like
I know it's about hedging your bets, by the
no,
way.
but when you used to find porn in a hedge, I mean those were the days. You find a
Don't get that
magazine,
anymore.
but then I mean it was never talked about, but it was good etiquette that once you were finished with it, to put it back in that hedge.
You know, it's funny because the equivalent now would be finding an iPhone that's already open with Pornhub sitting on it.
Yeah.
Because you would A, there's no BAPs in the tabloids anymore, and B, the decline of tabloids in general, and everything's been moved onto the interwebs.
Do you remember, like, get very nostalgic here, but like when we were kids and you'd go to the TV shop, you go to Dixon's or somewhere like that there, and they would always have the same, on all TVs in the shops, with the same thing on it. I always wanted somebody just to put porn on, just for 5 seconds. To just
tell you a weird story. We were in that there frozen yogurt place with the kids. The one that's down there in the town off Corn Market.
Oh yeah.
It's like a wee frozen. It's like
Can't remember what
it's
it's
like a
called,
unicorn's fucking spunk because it's bright pink and glitter and everything on it. So we were in there and I was on my way out and I noticed that it was a Google Chrome in the back of the TV. So I was like, I've got the Chrome app on my phone. So I sat and tried to do it, like as we walked out, but it wouldn't let me because you have to like to input a code and all that.
I was gonna
so it's a
say,
pain in the dick.
just
So I was
put
like,
a String Ninjas video on, and just walk out.
that would have been funny as fuck. Just to
Yeah.
put something really
That's so
mad
weird,
up
like,
and just stand her off. Put a wee wacky EastEnders or something on for them. All those fucking 7-year-olds in there buying their fucking.
Oh, here, actually, interestingly enough, you did have an idea. Remember the other day you tagged me in something about alternate endings? What was the Red Dwarf one?
Oh, you want to hear the Red Dwarf?
Tell me the Red Dwarf
Right,
one.
So the for anybody that's wondering what the fuck we're talking about. So
Who's not
the other
friends
day,
with Gavin on Facebook?
what do you say?
Who's not friends with Gavin on
Who's
Facebook?
not friends with me?
There's probably a lot of you.
I'd say about 3 or 4 of them at least. But yeah, so somebody Mick had put up a thing saying about if Ross had been in Cobra Kai, would he have been a douchebag because karate and discipline and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, and I postulated that it wasn't the fact his parents were still douchebags,
Yeah, yeah.
and they created him as the douchebag. But you could be right because obviously karate discipline.
He might have
and
distanced himself
respect,
from his parents.
yeah, all that. So I put out the question, fucking who, if any alternate realities, be it alternate sort of things that would happen, we'll discuss them. But one that I've actually thought about for a while, and this is for any Red Dwarf fans that are out there. So I'll put it to you because you are a Red Dwarf fan.
Yeah.
So
Not
you'll
to your level, but yes, I
you'll
am.
know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Cool.
So do you ever see in the episode, I think it's season 5, maybe episode 1 or 2, the Inquisitor is the robot that comes back and starts deleting people from history.
Yes.
So he's like, have you lived a worthwhile
Yes,
life,
yes,
and blah blah blah. So basically the story behind him, the Kryten says, is that the rumor is, or the story is, that there's a droid that survived to the end of time, and when it comes to the end of time, it realizes that there is no God, so it devises, it makes a time machine, goes back through history and deletes people. So my theory is, to the ultimate ending is Kryten's death, because he is the Inquisitor. So basically what happens is, because it has to come to an end someday, like they're all going to die in real life, but even they'll have to end it before that. So it should have ended it after season 6 because the rest of it was blank. But anyway, so my idea was that Lister and the cat eventually die and leave Kryten by himself. So he's learned to break his program. So he's essentially human, only a droid, all the benefits. So he's the one that survives to the end of time. But he's so fucking heartbroken over Lister and all that there sort of thing, dying and leaving because he was devoted to Lister, that he becomes really bitter towards the end. And when he realizes like the end of time's there and he still exists, well, there must be no God. So he decides he becomes the Inquisitor and goes back in time and deletes people. But then he eventually wants to die. And how does the Inquisitor die? Well, he goes back in time to Dave, and Dave's the one that kills him. So basically, but the whole point of it is that in that episode, so basically what happens in that episode, he goes back and he puts them all through the rigmarole and he goes to delete them from history, and they end up figuring out a way to overthrow him and kill him back. So, but the way I'm looking at it is, Dave himself, his existence is a time loop, because he was found under a pool table and he doesn't know how he got there. So it turns out in one of the later series that he puts himself there. So he's an infinite time loop. So it means that as long as he always raises himself up and goes back and puts himself there, time will always exist. So what Kryten does is, because he travels to the end of time, then goes back and kills himself, both he and Dave are infinite time loops, because he always has to go to the end of time to go back to die, to go back, do you know what I mean? So him and Dave are together forever in eternity, because that's those segments of time. But obviously there's continuity, so you'd have to go back and iron out the details, because I haven't watched any of it. But I just thought that would be a fitting...
That was until you said the last bit there, I was like, this is a really dark and sinister plot.
Yeah.
Until they have to be together.
See, the thing
forever. I was like, all right, now that's okay. That's good.
See, the whole point was because at the time when they defeat the Inquisitor, they obviously wouldn't know it was Kryten.
Yeah.
But because Kryten will remember everything,
Yes.
he goes back and he goes, I want to die.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I going to die? Well, I killed myself in the previous...
All I was asking was for Ross not to be so jealous of Rachel. And then, I mean, that's twice you've kicked the camera now.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's all right.
I'll kick it a third time and I'll be lucky.
I know, here, it's all right. Your man never say it anyway. By the way, Siobhan, sign up to the Patreon so you can see this in video
you can
format.
sign up for 50p plus tax.
You know what it is? We'll save that pound. Yeah, we save about 64p of it or something out there. It's mental. Anyway, that was mental.
It was...
But well thought out.
But it was, because it was... Somebody put up a thing about it.
These are the things you think about on the toilet, aren't they?
Just walking about and doing the dishes and all this here.
Yeah.
But yeah...
Daddy, I need fed. Hold on a second.
Hold a second. I'm trying to work out Kryten's
Kids are
ultimate
starving when you're trying to figure out a plot line for Red Dwarf. But no, but like that's basically, you've kept that within the realms of Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Whereas I crossed 2 shows.
Yeah.
Because you haven't watched Cobra Kai? See,
No.
I don't really want to go into it too much because
I'll never watch it.
But you should, 'cause it's brilliant.
I don't watch things people tell me to watch, just because.
Like, All I'm saying
Don't
is
be a sheep.
it's fantastic. You're not being a sheep, man. It's very, very
Mate,
good.
if I find time
I'll
for
go,
anything,
I will go as far to say, and this may be controversial. We may lose listeners over this, but I think Cobra Kai is better than any Karate Kid film.
I thought the Karate
He
Kid films.
said it.
I thought the Karate Kid films were shite anyway.
No, they were.
I think
but but there's an element of shite that makes things great. Like I watched Masters of the Universe the other night.
Yeah.
That was the first film I ever went to see in the cinema. What was the first film you went to see?
That I can remember.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
When was that? 95?
I was
94?
My dad took me to see it in Dublin in the cinema, and it was the weirdest experience because everybody loved it so much. They all clapped. You know, like when the plane lands and everybody's like, "Thank God we're alive," and they all clap. It was like that. I was like, I've never experienced this before.
No, because I've watched Masters of the Universe. That came out in 1988, so I was 5 when that came out, and I was talking to my dad about it because he obviously took me, and he said to me like it's one of the first films that he remembers going to the cinema to see, which was so big on the sound, you know, the Dolby surround sound.
It was Dolph Lundgren, wasn't it?
It was. Courtney Cox was in it too.
Was she?
She was. I actually don't like her character in it, but then there's a wee lad.
I've never seen it, although I probably have seen it. I just can't remember. It's like the Dark Crystal and the Never-Ending Story. I have seen them, but I can't really remember them.
Yeah. Here's one for you. No, David Bowie's Labyrinth. I told you this before. I don't like it. I don't like I'm not a big.
Was that a big revelation? I thought you were going to say like, here's a little bit of information.
No, I always said my favorite thing David Bowie ever did was his appearance on Extras.
He was very funny.
Like he's good. He's good. I just don't. It's not.
I do like Labyrinth, but
thing.
it's not like I don't like it as much as people. When it's like you and Big Trouble in Little China, I like the film. I've enjoyed the film. I have it on DVD, but I'm not fucking nuts about it. Do you know what I mean? I do like it, but I wouldn't say
the thing I
it's
love
my favorite film.
The thing I love about Big Trouble in Little China is that I can happily watch it all the way through. I don't like, you know, sometimes like if something's on the TV, I've seen it before, change the channel. I am more than happy to sit and watch it again.
I wonder,
that's to me, that's a testament of a good film.
See,
like I would watch, like the Bourne films. Jason, I like that stuff, and I'm quite happy to sit and watch
but
it.
It is what it was.
I think they're very well made.
I can't see. I think the problem is because I've seen, if there's anything that's good and I've seen it and I really enjoyed it, I watch it into oblivion and then I can never watch it again. So like, I've seen, that's probably why like I can remember lines from fucking TV shows really easily because I've just fucking bled them dry.
Yeah, I find like anything that has like a real psychological twist to it, I can't watch multiple times.
Funny, I think it's very taxing on your brain.
Suspense is not there anymore.
But I know, I think it taxes your brain to think about it. There's like a great film, fucking fantastic film, Pan's Labyrinth. Do you ever watch Pan's Labyrinth? Spanish film, but the Civil War and the wee girl, and she like, so basically, or it's like, is it Franco? Was he the Spanish Civil War guy, the dictator? So basically, anyway, there's Spanish Civil War going on. It's set in that time, and her mummy, the wee girl's mummy, marries this like fucking guy who's high up in the Spanish, like their type of Gestapo-y type force, but he's a real sick bastard, like really, really sick. And he like there's some scenes in it I'm like, I can't watch this. Like, it's a fantastic fucking film. Definitely watch it. But you'll watch it once, you go like, I can't put myself through watching that again. So but it's basically all about her like escapism. She like she like imagines these creatures and, you know, talking to her and stuff and all. But at the same time, you're sort of going, did she imagine them or was that actually happening? Do you know those things? But they're like some real mad shit. But there's a scene where like they find these two peasants up with these guns up in the fucking mountains, and they're like, what are you doing with these mountains and these maps and these guns? And the son's like, hunting rabbits. And he's like, well, I didn't ask you, I asked your dad. But the dad's like, Gary. And he says, oh, he can't answer for himself, he's fucking and he goes, right, you talk again, you're gonna regret it. And then he says something, and your man lifts a bottle and smashes his face in, like proper smashes his face in with the fucking bottle, and you see it like crumbling as he's doing it, and then he's landing on the ground going, no, he can't say anything because his face is gone, and it's just like fucking crazy. Great, like the whole film is fucking fantastic, but Jesus Christ, it's like I can't make myself watch that again. You know, it's just too much. I mean, there's a couple of films like that with me, but that one, if you haven't seen it, go and see it.
I started watching a TV show there the other night, and the premise of it is brilliant. I really love the premise. It's called Prodigal Son. Stars Michael Sheen, and then you watched Did you watch The Walking Dead at some? Did you? Because there was a point where I stopped watching.
I've seen episodes of it, but again, it's like I say this. I don't have the fucking time to
invest,
invest in these
yeah.
shows, so I just don't bother
Yeah, no.
anymore. It's different if it was like one season, like the British season, where it's
Aye.
6 episodes, 6 or 8,
Yeah.
not 24 fucking episodes.
Well,
That's like fucking 8 years worth of stuff.
The other guy in it, his name's Thet Payne, and he is in The Walking Dead. And he plays a character called, I think they call him Jesus because he looks like Jesus.
Is that the meme guy? You know, the one that's the
Ye-
meme where he's like talking to the sun. You know, there's like a Walking Dead where they've taken like 3 things, and it's like he's telling a bad joke to the sun.
No,
I'll show you it
no,
after.
I'm not too sure. I don't think so. But anyway, the premise of the show is Michael Sheen plays a serial killer, and Thet Payne plays his son.
Mr. Sheen.
And Michael Sheen's fantastic. He's Welsh, but he has the American accent. He's proper creepy, but he gets caught. He gets put in prison whenever your man Thet Payne's like 9 or 10. And then he grows up to become a criminal profiler for the FBI. But he's insomniac. He fights like psychotic urges because he is his father's son. But he's whenever he goes into a crime scene, he can visualize it from the point of the killer, and people obviously find him very weird. He ends up getting sacked by the FBI, and then he goes to work for the NYPD for the cop who arrested his dad back in the day. And that's a really good premise. And I was like, yeah, I'm
Does
liking
the cop
this.
not trust him, but he kind of
Well,
trusts
no,
him?
there's obviously layers.
Tension.
Peel the Roscoff onion and all that. But it's like I watched a couple of episodes and went, okay, I'm liking this. I'm digging it. Michael Sheen's very creepy, but he still wants a relationship with his son. It's very complicated. And then I looked at the synopsis of it, and there's 24 episodes in a season, and I went, oh, come on. And then I looked at who broadcast it, and it was broadcast on FX, and I went, this is just another procedural drama. So I got the episode 4, and I was like, I can't watch this anymore, because it's the same every single episode.
It's like CSI
there's a murder,
type of
and
thing.
there's obviously an overarching storyline, which is him and his dad, but they obviously need the setting of he works for the NYPD and this and I'm like, all right, that's grand, but I want something a bit more. I want like a bit of balls about it, you know. So, and then I started another show called Goliath, starring Billy Bob Thornton. He's like a washed up lawyer, but
he's a weird actor.
But it starts. There's basically a conspiracy. There's a guy who commits suicide who was working for a company that makes munitions and things like that. There, basically, they were testing explosives out in the ocean that they weren't legally allowed to do. The guy's ship blew up where they were testing them. Then the company said, "Oh, he committed suicide," settled with the wife, and then but the guy's sister goes to your man and goes, "I think it's a conspiracy." And then I was like, "Oh, this is quite good. There's a lot. There's layers to this. I'm quite entertained." And then again, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
So that was kind of like with me, and it's like people will be pissed off. Do you ever see The Boys? Did you ever watch that?
Never watched. I've heard it's good. I've just never.
The thing is, I watched like
Woozy loves it. I think.
And me and Fluna sat down. We were like, right, something. So we stuck along, so we heard loads of stuff about it, and we watched the first 2 episodes, and we were like, they're good, but it's like The Watchmen did it in a 3-hour film. Do you know what I mean? And it's all about superheroes being dicks essentially and being this, that, and the other. And it was like Watchmen did all that. Yeah. And they did it in one sitting, and you could do it. And I was like, it just like the shows now, because obviously everybody's so fucking like the Marvel films, like the storyline's okay in them, but they're visually, you want to see Spider-Man fighting so and so and this, that, and the other, and it's all action and all that there, and that's what people want, and it's sort of they're trying to transition that into these fucking TV shows where it's like, fuck the story. The story can be, boy meets girl, but there has to be all sorts of shit in between. And it's sort of like, it just turns me off. Do you know what I mean? It really does just turn me off. I was like, do you know what I actually started watching? Modern Family. Fuck me, it's hilarious.
I enjoyed the first season of that.
Fuck me,
and then I kind of, I don't know,
off.
I think it's one of them ones, like, I'll never watch a show normally. See if a show comes out, I don't normally start watching it as soon as it comes out. I'll find out about it later, and then I'll chin the whole series. And then when this next series starts and it's weekly, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of done because I have no rhythm.
That's right.
Modern Family was like
that. It's
like
11 seasons on Netflix now, so I'm like, sweet. So
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of
the dad's funny as fuck.
I'm kind of done with TV, to be honest. I can't really bring myself to watch anything. I just I'm become very boring the last wee while. As you can probably tell by the tone of this book, I've got no anecdotes.
You're a born again Christian.
Born again Christian.
You're a born bastard.
We had a nice Chinese last night.
What do you call
Ew, I set that one up for you. Teriyaki noodles, mate.
them? Why
Good.
is there no
Nice and
fucking
sticky,
Chinese and
but not enough
teriyaki
veg.
called teriyaki?
Teriyaki. Because
Chicken teriyaki.
Because that's a good point. Actually.
Teriyaki chicken.
That is good, but it was nice actually. Definitely order it again. I just fancy getting something different for a change, and it was very good. So Chef King on the Antrim Road. If you want to give us a wee sponsor, you just won't because you don't watch this. Because why would you? Because you are always busy making food.
I've enjoyed. I have to say, I've been trying to. Do you know, like every family has set meals? Do you know, like your family set meals that you got from your mum and dad would have been different from mine? Do you know? So I've been currently.
Well, mine were made with love.
With love. I am the one making lines with love. I don't mean like so the stuff like I'm making for the kids.
I'll show the kids your booster seat.
Why?
Gavin has a booster seat because I'm too tall.
Tigger, it's a Tigger. It's a wee Tigger thing. Let's enjoy it. I enjoy it. We need. See, to be honest with me, if I've been saying we need cushions for this fucking sofa.
It is a wee
You need a couple of points. But I know. So I've been experimenting with various recipes the last while to see just to try and the beef up our thing because I was like, I'm fucking sick of making stew and then making whatever and whatever. So I was like, right, I need a couple more dishes to throw in there. Fruta doesn't like curries.
Yeah.
So which is disgraceful
Yeah.
because all of us would eat a fucking curry, and I'm convinced there's a curry for her.
Yeah.
She just needs to find out what it is. But knowing my luck, like I'm a Thai red curry man, she'll be a fucking green curry, and I can't be having green curries.
I have there's this. I got a jar of this stuff. It's called roast peanut rayu. So it's like a chili oil.
You open it up and it goes Hadouken! Digs you in the face.
Yeah, I know. Tiger uppercut. Dawson,
chicken
rest
curry.
in peace. I don't know what I was trying to do there. It was like some Egyptian fucking thing. Anyway, it's from Tacunia, is it? They're like a wee artisan, like they make marmalades and stuff like that. They're based in Belfast, South Belfast, I think. Very nice. But my thing to do is like I'll just go I want to find the plainest dish I can and soup it up with that. So I'll make like chicken, bacon, and sprouts. But then a big load of that peanut rayu in it, so the peanut for the crunch, and then the chili oil makes it not really hot, just nice and hot. And then all of a sudden you've just taken the most boring clandestine food and just made it. Did I use clandestine the right way there? I think I did.
Clandestine?
I feel answers on a postcard. Did I use clandestine in the right form there?
It's like no one say using the sentence. I sort of know what it means off the top of my head, but I can't.
Clean or bland, I think it means
Clandestine.
Pure. But I know
I
it's
always
really nice.
Associate clandestine with like a futuristic sort of thing. I don't know why.
I always feel like it's a religious thing.
Clandestine. What is it? Kept secret or done secretively, especially because it's illicit.
Oh, maybe I haven't. No, maybe.
So,
anyway.
So your food is kept secret.
It was very tasty. I highly recommend it. But the problem is, though, it's because of the oil, and then there's natural oil in peanuts. So see the spoon. As soon as you take the spoon out, it's like fucking in the sink straight away. Like have nothing else in the sink because it just stains everything.
That's like fucking chicken tikka. There's a chicken tikka. As soon as it touches you can paint your walls in it. Like it would never come off.
I got what did I get in Tesco? No, it was Marks and Spencer the other day. It was a wee chicken sagaloo type thing. Yep, it was reduced to $1.75. I had myself a good time.
It's like I need to go through all the podcasts and map out our trajectory. We go this into porn into food. We're done.
Because I used to talk about injuries. Oh, that's right. I've had since we last done a podcast.
He's got wanker's elbow.
No, legit. I just couldn't straighten out my arm. My arm was stuck in a right angle. I couldn't.
Which was handy for you.
But no,
pivot.
Yes.
Okay. Had to work it in somehow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I call this one the coat hanger. You keep it at a fucking 45-degree angle. Wave it about.
Oh shit.
You stick it in between the mattress.
I know I couldn't strip my arm out. But it was weird. If I lay down, it hurt more. So I don't know if it was just gravity push or whatever. But I didn't sleep for about 3 days because of just a pain. I just couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And I couldn't straighten my arm out, nothing. And then it was weird because I thought, was it a bicep issue? Like I thought maybe if I lifted something too heavy or whatever, because I could feel like just natural, no flex or anything on my left arm. I was like, right, I can feel there's a muscle there. And then I went to my right arm, which should, let's be honest, have the bigger one. And I couldn't feel any muscle. And I was like, it's weird. So it was almost like the tendons.
Your arms
from
withering
the
away.
forearm.
You're
Is
going
it
to be
the brachialis? Is that what your forearm?
You're going to go to India and be worshipped as some sort of weird god. You know, like that guy holds his arm up in the air for 5 years. He's got a big withered arm. He's like that.
It's like, no one ever was
Right
it
on.
when Quagmire stays at home,
He finds the
jacking
internet.
off for just days, and his arm just one big pop.
It's just a big fucking thing. But here, we touched on something earlier on.
Here, she said it was fine.
It was fine. I got written consent. The GameStop fucking thing.
Alright.
So, that's a whole heap of funniness there.
That was really entertaining to see that happen. A fair play. But the thing about it is, I was like, hold on, you remortgaged your parents' house, mate,
To do what?
to bankroll what he did.
No, there's loads of people that it. They all
No,
clubbed
there was
it
this
together.
one kid who, and I was like, what, you remortgaged your parents' house without them knowing about it?
Well, that
Alright.
wouldn't work. Probably talking shit. Like,
I smell bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. Seriously, fucking Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
This bullshit, man. No, but no, the thing is, it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you how little people are paying attention. That, you know, like, as in, fuck here, we can do this and completely fuck these guys over. And it took like one guy to go, here, this is here. But realistically, if you said play the stock market, you'd be like, nah, I'm not interested in all that there sort of shit and fucking blah blah blah.
No, I watched Monica lose everything. I could never do that. I could never play the stock market.
See, that's right. I forgot all about that. But I know, I was thinking, because this thing, now this is going to be, they're trying to move to make it like illegal now. So the stock market's like, anybody can play in it.
Well,
like,
technically, what they did do was illegal.
it wasn't. No,
No, it is technically. Hedge funding in itself is almost illegal.
Well, it's immoral. I think it's
Alright.
immoral. I don't.
Sugarcoat it how you want.
No, but,
yeah.
but I think there's an actual difference between illegality and immorality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like immorality is subjective for the most part, because what you think is wrong and what I think are wrong could be two different things. Do you know what I mean? But which is why it's sort of harder to legislate. But what they were doing, it's like insider trading. You can't do that shit. That's illegal because it's like a practice. So, but the
Totally.
But what they were doing, that fucking hedge fund, dirty bastards. I liked it. I liked reading up about it and stuff and all about so basically they borrowed stocks off a broker.
Yeah.
And like devalued it.
That's
so
that's how it works.
it's just like you sold it to me. They borrowed them, and the broker was like, right, it's $5 for these.
Yeah.
So then they go, right, sell them for $5 and then devalue the stock. And then later on, they're like, the stock's only worth £1. So they buy it back and they've made 4. But then because everybody was showing interest in buying stock, but all the trading apps, like 212 and all them fuck things, were all like, oh, you're not allowed to buy anymore. But it's, again, it's because the bubble's going to burst eventually. Do you know what I mean? So if I owned any GME fucking stock or whatever you're thinking, I would sell it now. Like, get it fucking rid of it.
100%.
Few notes. What I would like, what company would you try to do that with? What company, if you had the money, what company would you buy stocks in? Mine would be Love Honey.
To take what, to take them down or to make them?
No, like if I knew it was like either way, if
I knew I wanted.
if you're going to make a money off it, either through being a good investment or being using the moral practices, what would you do? I would Love Honey because everybody's in bucking because they can't do anything else. No, Love Honey and Fisher Price because they make all the kids' toys.
I would say like something like GlaxoSmithKline or something like that. There.
So they do.
Some pharmaceutical company.
Get all the fucking the baldy Viagra pills.
Always going to need drugs and vaccines, man.
That's a very clinical one. No fun in that. Do it again. Choose
All right,
again. Choose again.
I want. Who would us? Invest in us.
Are we a fucking
I want to invest in us.
publicly traded fucking thing?
Mate, I'll sell my hole if it means so we can play on it.
Sell your hole for a
Right.
Kit Kat chunky.
I would sell my hole so we can go to New Zealand and play on a stage. Because see the band, it was so funny. I was watching the news and
Who would you be willing to buck to do that?
You. And sign up to our Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes of me
Quite literally behind.
backing
the
in him
scenes.
behind the sofa.
No.
See the other thing on the news about New Zealand putting on the music festival. And I was watching it going, I got really emotional watching it because I was like, that, like, Jesus Christ, I miss not playing in front of 10,000 people because that's never happened. But I miss big crowds and miss the being on the stage and all.
Ugh.
But I was like, I was listening. Once I got past the whole thing about it, I was like, well done, New Zealand, you've done it well. Congratulations. And nobody gets tested. They just all have the tracing app on. It's all fine. Everyone's good. They're all hugging and kissing and whatever.
Finger banging.
But, yeah, bring it back, mate. Sing it back. But the thing, after I got over that, I was listening to the man going, they're shite. They're actually not good. But then I was like, see if I got the chance to go to a Cheeky Girls concert, I'd probably go. Just for the point of...
I found you like, very weird when I was there.
Oh, they're weird as fuck, man. They're mental.
The thing is, they were like... apparently
and their accent is nuts.
They've got a real drinking problem. Because I was talking to, like, they literally have this thing over... So there's, like, the place I was staying in, actually a couple of places, like, was it Christchurch? Was the place I was staying, and then there was... Fuck, it's been that long, I can't even remember the name of it. The other is like more like a seaside place where all the extreme sports and all happened and all that. So because it was more younger crowd, cops didn't really bother anybody down there. But in the major city, they did a thing where like the cops would come in on a routine. They would do it like every night. They would come in and they'd be like, anybody giving you trouble? Because it's illegal to be drunk. In a weird way, you can drink and you could drink 20 pints, but the minute you've shown that you've drank 20 pints, they're like, get the fuck out. Because if the cops come in, the manager of the bar personally gets like fined like 10 grand. My mate who I was over visiting, she worked in one of the bars and she was like, there's a real fucking problem here. But apparently it's because they're all cut off from the rest of the world. Like they're so far out of the way that I either have to go to Australia, which in itself has a bit of a drinking problem, or like the next closest thing is like fucking Asia. And they have to go all the way there if they want. No, it's not like us where we can go to Paris for the weekend, or you can go across to England or Scotland for the day.
I can't wait for us to go to Paris for the weekend.
Under the Eiffel Tower. It'd be sexy.
Yeah.
It'd be so sexy. That's a Patreon exclusive if ever I saw one. Here, we were...
See if we did go to Paris though. It just would be a weekend of me eating foie gras and steak tartare everywhere, and you going, Mick, how do you eat that stuff?
No, you'd be like, give us the fucking snails, give us that garlic butter.
There's a wee place in the Ormer Road called Le Toit. It's a wee French restaurant.
Oh, that there. Just put a wee T at the end of that on the sign. Le Toit.
Why do you have bastardise everything, Gavin?
Because it's funny as fuck.
Right, we're nearly up to 40-minute mark here, so I'm gonna bow out because I am getting the hungry shakes.
I know. I need to organise some din-dins.
Yeah. So rate and review, subscribe everywhere. OnlyFans, a lot. Patreon.com for £1.
You can pay more if you want.
Pay more if you want. Pay £1,000 a month. You will get nothing extra.
That would be fantastic. Fuck, for £1,000 a month, I'd fucking ring them up and ask them about their day.
Nosh you off like a Bombay bad boy.
Nosh.
Here, I'm just thinking, see after the shit that we have spoken in the last 40 minutes, I can't wait to see what graphic you come up with for this one.
Oh fuck, I need to actually remember.
You do a graphic for the last one?
It'd be Kryten buying stocks.
Anyway,
buying stocks and in love, honey.
Right, I'm away to finger a spinach tortellini.
Well, they're called Italians, mate. You don't need to fucking... Right, so thanks very much. Check us all out. Patreon, YouTube. New videos recorded today, so hopefully have them out over the next week or two. So check us out, Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. And if you're there, subscribe to those things because it helps us. And do you know what I mean? With no money, so.
I have to go and watch WandaVision, I just remembered.
WandaVision!
Yeah.
Oh, Wanda! Go get that coat hanger on the go. Right, bye.